Hey, welcome back, sports fans. Good morning. It is September 5th, 2024, and it is the start of the Thor Fusion here in Raid Shadow Legends. Wow, what a wonderful day. What a wonderful audience you are. Let's get into it. So they already put up the fusion plan just to give us a heads up on what is going to happen. I have it pulled up on another thing here. Let me just kind of go to display capture. Boom. So as you can see, there is going to be 50 extra fragments here, and this is going to be from the summon rush. Okay, so that's not this weekend, but it's going to be next weekend, right? I believe, yes, because it's champion chase tournament this weekend, the summon rush event next weekend. Okay, so if you're not paying attention to the stuff that's going on with Thor, he has been damage tested. He has been used in the areas that seem to be most important nowadays: Hydra, Arena. Okay, and in these areas he excels. Mainly in Hydra. Again, ooh, good. Champion's good for Hydra, But yeah, they are. It's great, honestly. I think Plarium knew that if they fucked this up, it was going to be a really bad PR stunt from the entire community. Because you don't really want to fuck up one of the most popular gods in history that we know of, and that is Thor, the Red Bearded, the Red Lightning, all that fun jazz. So yeah, he does a ton of damage, and there are things that people have found out with his kit. So with his passive, I don't. Let me look here. His passive, we'll just go over it quick. In game actually, because he's already in game. We go here and we go to the best. His passive here, Sky Rupture. Yeah, there we go. Every time this champion deals damage, it increases his thunder counter by 1. Each thunder stack increases his damage, right? Not crit damage, just his damage, by 3%, stacks up to a chance of 30%. Once this counter reaches 10, he will attack everyone and place a stun debuff for a turn. After the attack, the thunder counter resets itself to 0. The damage is based on attack. So there are things that they found out about this, right? The one thing that the big question was like, so what extra things can they do to proc the thunder counter to tick up, right? And one of them, one question was, does Phantom Touch work? And come to find out, Phantom Touch does not work, and I'll explain that in a minute. What does work though is Giant Slayer, and what's that other one that we always use? Yeah. So Giant Slayer works, and so does War Master. These two masteries actually work to increase Thor's thunder counter. But Phantom Touch does not, and sets do not. So if you put him in a poison set, that doesn't proc it. If he's in a hex set, that does not proc it, and I'll explain why. The way he's coded, and the way I guess he should be coded, because his passive does say that every time he himself deals damage, right? So he himself has to be the source of damage, not the set, not the awakening, right? It has to be him. So that's why masteries work, because the way masteries happen is because they're coded into the champion, and when the champion deals damage, the masteries take into effect, and you can get like Helm Smasher and shit like that, extra damage, like bring it down. Okay, these are all sourced from the champion themselves. With the sets, they're not. They are based on the artifact set themselves, so this does not increase the counter for Thor for his Sky Rupture, okay? And the same goes for the Awakening, which is weird, because you think if the Masteries would increase the Thunder counter, Phantom Touch would have to increase the Thunder counter because of an Awakening, but it's not coded that way. I do kind of think it's a bit of a misstep, but hey, what do I know? I'm just some dude in his office, talking about a man with very hairy shoulders. This is crazy. How do we make him stand out in the Plarium board meeting? We'll put fur on him. Just cover the son of a bitch in fur. But yeah, there you go. Okay, let's go over Thor real quick, and then we'll look at the summoning at the fusion plan. Okay, so his A1 is Wrath of Mjolnir. Attacks an enemy 2 times, 20% chance of repeating the attack. There does not seem to be a cap on this. Each hit decreases their turn meter by 10%. Books into this only increased damage. His A2, Fulminous Ricochet. 3-turn cooldown when booked. Gives a little bit extra damage. This is an AoE attack that attacks all enemies After hitting the first enemy, it will hit every other enemy in a random order following the initial hit. Each subsequent hit increases the damage inflicted by 25%, stacks up to 100. Okay, so there just needs to be 4 people out there. And this will ignore block damage and unkillable. This effect does not work against bosses. Kind of a bummer, right? I think it means it will not work against bosses in the fact that block damage and unkillable is a thing. Okay, that's what I'm assuming. I think that's a bit of a misnomer. I think you just wipe that out of the coding and let him just go rip shit riot, to be honest with you. He is Thor, God of Thunder. All right. But this is actually a great ability. This ability does a shit ton of damage. And when he hits people with this, obviously it brings up the thunder counter on Sky Rupture quite a bit. But yeah, let's see. It's actually a very cool ability because anytime I've seen subsequent hit damage abilities that talk about like damage scaling, it's always decreased for everyone it hits, and they take into account I would assume it's the momentum property of like every time something goes through the air and it hits something, it loses a bit of energy, right? And then everything it hits after that, it has less energy and loses more energy. But for them, they're like, nah, son, this dude's a god, and everything he hits, he gonna hit harder, right? And I love it. And then we have his A3 Hammer of Heaven. God, you love it. It's a 3-turn cooldown when booked, so he's got 2 3-turn cooldown AoE abilities. And then this book's up to 100% chance. Before attacking, he self-buffs by giving himself increased attack and increased crit damage for 2 turns. He then has a 100% chance of permanently decreasing the resistance of each enemy by 10% up to 50%. Okay? And then he has a 100% chance of placing decreased speed on everyone for 2 turns. That's just a bonus, right? Anything I've seen for the test footage, people aren't building him with accuracy. It's just a nice little bonus. They're just putting damage on him, which I would have to agree with. But this here, so I was thinking, how does Thor stand out like against other like arena nukers to where he's good? You know, you got Narcissus, Harima, Rotos, all these guys. Thor, in the way he gets stronger, is in a way he makes everyone on the team stronger if you have debuff abilities. And that is because he's going to decrease everybody's resistances to a max of 50% throughout the fight. Harima increases her own defense and decreases everybody else's defense throughout the fight. Rotos decreases their HP throughout the fight and then increases his own damage. That's how I see these guys. Narcissus is just amazing. You know, there you go. But then you look at Thor and you're like, well, if you have a team with like a lot of debuff capabilities, his A3 is going to get you there. I really believe that. And I love his art style. It's kind of weird though, because he looks like he's in a like a kilt, some kind of Irish Scottish tartan. I mean, there's big Viking influence in Dublin, I guess, but you know, there you be. But yeah, I love the look of Mjolnir here. It is can we get a look at the art on Mjolnir? I'm not seeing any serpents or anything on there getting their heads knocked in, so okay. He has a frost giant dead on his back. I wonder if this is ever going to come in and play in, you know, again. We'll see. Ogren tribes could have been one in there. Let's look at his horn here. He does have a goat's head on the horn. If you know anything about Thor, you know he has 2 goats, Nasher and Grinder. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything else. We're seeing a lot of the knots, the Volknut, and we have this triple seal here. Pretty good. Pretty good. I love it. He's great. He does a shit ton of damage. I'm happy to have him. It was kind of weird because you kind of felt like Alaz the Sunbearer was going to be Thor, to be honest, once he went over into this form. You got this yellow lightning and shit. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm very happy with it. But anyways, let's kind of get into breaking down this here. It's going to be pretty easy. Spider Tournament starts today. Artifact Enhancement starts today. Champion Training starts today. But what does start tomorrow on the 6th of Friday? It's going to be the Dungeon Divers event. So me, personally, if I'm talking to you, I'm telling you, hey, man, you're going to need to wait and do Spider tomorrow. Honestly, I do Champion Training tomorrow as well. Spider, as we all know, people do the fastest teams, 30 seconds, maybe, you know. I've seen people with like 11-second teams and shit for Spider Hard 10. And that would be what I farm, okay? And then Spider, it's very nice because it coincides with Artifact Enhancement because you get the most silver out of doing a spider tournament out of anywhere else in the game, because accessories sell for a ton. So if you're ever wondering what I'm doing when I don't care to get new gear but I need the silver for events, I'm doing that, which I really do need to change, because man, I need some gear, boy. I tell you, Siege really gets you to understand you need gear. Champion Chase, this will start also tomorrow, and there is a bit of a caveat there, because we have an event in game that's going to be happening, and we just need to kind of touch on it. Let's go to the news. It's right here. There's a ×2 ×10 chance this weekend to use your sacreds to get Freya, Thor's mother, goddess of cats and chariots, I think. Yeah, so Freya is going to be a ×2 ×10. Right now, she's also in the summon pool here, right? She's the big headline champion. You get a 2% chance to get her. And then, I mean, this is pretty stacked with really good champions here, to be honest with you. All of these guys are great. Harima, obviously, is the one everybody's, like, shooting for. But Freya is going to be on ×10 ×2. They are tricking you. You need to listen to me right now. If you listen to anything in this video, this is going to be it right now. She is actually a great champion. She is amazing for arena defense and for arena offense, because she puts up this little passive that saves one of your allies from death, and it's on a 5-turn cooldown. And she also brings a lot of buffs and cleansing and increased defense and shield, and she brings provoke on her A1. She is a lot like how I heard everybody say, I think they're down here, aren't they? I never went for him. Nope, he's not there. Where was he? Was he Bannerlords? No. He was one of the Monster Hunter champions. He's not Sacred Order. He's not Barbarians. Is he? Oh, he's Night Rev. Right here. Elatrion Blade Master. She pretty much does the same thing. She does the same thing as Elatrion Blade Master, except for the passive. It's different. And he doesn't do a provoke, but she is fundamentally pretty much the same character. She just brings a provoke. But yeah, so that is happening this weekend. They are tricking you. They are trying to get you to use your sacreds early. Hear me out. Do not do that. If you can, do the summoning event, or I'm sorry, do the summoning tournament, okay, the Champion Chase tournament. Do this with, if you have it, ancient shards. This is me. I bought the monthly pack for shards. It was $30. You know, you get your monthly, you get the gems and the energy and all that jazz, right? But I've saved these, okay? I saved these. I ran out of primals. You guys saw the video. It was a good time. And I've been saving up sacreds, okay? This took like a month, two or 3 months, right? You need to not use your sacreds, because we know that Freya will be a Deck of Fate champion. Odin also may be a guaranteed champion. They've done that before. They changed that for this guy when nobody gave a shit about him. He actually ended up being really good. Fatalis Blade Master. I'm kind of bummed I missed him. I'll never be able to get him because I don't think they're ever going to bring him back, but there is hope because they brought back Ninja. But Fatalis Blade Master here, right? This guy, nobody gave a shit about. Nobody was doing the summoning events for, and then Plarium finally said, fuck it, he's going to be a guaranteed, all right? It ended up being like 110, I think, voids, if I remember right. I don't remember. But they probably will be doing the same thing for Odin, but I don't know, because Odin is actually very, very, very good. Like, he is so fucking good. I mean, this aura, void champions in arena battles by 40%. He strips, he debuffs. I mean, he places Berserk on motherfuckers. He does the block damage with the buff spread. I mean, yeah, people love this guy. He's great. And I do want him as well. But, you know, they did the void shard thing. And I'm sorry I didn't get a video out to you, but, you know, you're an adult, and I assume you used your brain and you went, I don't think I should go for Odin on a ×2 ×10 because it's less than a 5% chance that you're going to get him when you get the champion. It's a big bummer. So I'm holding out hope that they do him as a guaranteed, but Freya will be a guaranteed in a Deck of Fate. So you need to hold your resources. I think we all need to be pretty smart on this. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing my damnedest just to do ancient shards. And there's something cool that you need to look at here. Dungeon Divers, Artifact Enhancement Champion Training, plus, hear me out, plus Spider Tournament. This is a total of 100 shards for this epic. Okay, the epic that we need to use Thor. That's going to be a free, if you do it all in time, a free 350 points, okay, for this Diana Gloom Piercer. Jesus, acid reflux kicking my ass. Had a really good time at comedy last night. I did it very well, so I drank quite a bit. Not a lot. I drank like 2 beers, but okay. So you get a free 350 points. Thor's fragments for the rest of this, you know, for these other epics, that's probably going to be around, I think, 3,500 points to get the 25 out of that. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit of a long video, so I apologize. But for champion, I'm sorry. For this champion chase tournament, there's 25 here, 25 for spider, 25 for classic arena, dragon. So it's 25 throughout the whole thing. Okay. You cannot get extra fragments until, boom, right down here. 50 fragments in a random summon rush at the end. Now this might tip you off to something. They might not be doing the Freya Deck of Fate until the summon rush, but I don't know. I doubt it, honestly. They're probably going to do the Freya thing Tuesday the 10th or Wednesday the 11th. They're going to try and keep it in between you getting extra rewards, okay? Now, I haven't looked at the event calendar, but they're probably not going to show it yet because they don't want you to have that information. They don't want you educated. They don't want you planning it out because they make less money that way. And that fucking sucks because, hear me out, they'd make a shit ton of money still, but they got to make more. It's the greed monster. It's a big fucking greed monster. Oh, it's just a bummer. But anyways, personally, I probably wouldn't be going for these extra summon rush fragments. This is a waste of resources here. They're just trying to drain your balls. Okay, so just stick to here. And just be smart. So don't do anything today unless you're doing a little bit of champion training, which I will be doing today. And I'll be doing artifact enhancement today as well. But I'll be running Spider Tournament with the Dungeon Divers event tomorrow. I'll be doing the Champion Chase Tournament. I'm going to be using my Ancient Shards, and I'm going to be fusing together one of these Void Epics. All right, that's 350 points easy right off the bat. Also, a thing about that, people really need to be saving the Void Rares for Broadmaw, because, again, that's how a lot of people do Champion Chase tournaments, is you just do that. It stacks up. You fuse like 4 Broadmaws, right? That's 1,400 points right there. That you end up being like a quarter of the way or a third of the way to getting what you need. So, food for thought. But yeah, be smart about this. I'm going to highly recommend that you actually do not use sacreds tomorrow. It is tempting. It is. It's a ×2 ×10. So you have double the chance of getting a legendary from sacreds, and you have ×10 chance to get Freya. But it's not worth it. It really is not worth it. And I'm getting kind of miserly because I have these right here, and they look so nice just stacking up. Especially when I watch Eharbad. Rest in peace, dude. He's not dead, but he's done. He's done with the raid, it sounds like. But he's got like 100, usually on hand, just hanging out because he doesn't buy anything. He just saves them up. Still calculating our win. Okay. But that's gonna be it for the video. Thank you for tuning in. Too long didn't watch. Skim to this part of the video. Don't use sacreds for the weekend. Use your ancients. Fuse that epic. Get the extra points. Be smart. Okay. Hold on to your voids. There might be a guaranteed Odin event. We don't know yet. And there's gonna be a deck of fate for Freya. So I would just keep everything close to your chest. Okay. Because the deck of fate is probably going to be 2 resources. It's going to be soulstones and it's going to be shards. Okay. I love all of you. Please take care of yourselves. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.